Alright guys, welcome back. We're here back at the junkyard. Uh, this is, I don't know, I think this is actually like part 6 or 7 now. I'm really sure. I gotta go through and fix all the videos. I still haven't done that yet. Just been in the process of trying to work on this, make some progress. So, I got the frame set up to where the width she's gonna be. Might do a little tinkering every now and then, but the cross members that I made, they're going to work, but I was too much of in a hurry making them that I didn't realize. Yeah, I didn't really think of a way to bend it to actually connect it to the frame. So I had to make these little brackets here. You can see those on the end. And the bolts are a little longer. The end one right here is not fully tightened yet, so I have to go through and fix that. They are a little long. I was thinking about putting some washers, maybe some washers in between the aluminum bracket and aluminum mount. I haven't fully decided yet, but it's the width. I cut it down to where it fits in the frame. It's kind of a snug fit the way I ended up cutting it, but that's about the width she's gonna sit at. It sits in just fine. Like I said, I'm thinking about doing some spacers right here in between the bracket and the mount. I haven't made any other mounts yet. I actually just finished that one up. I don't have a drill or anything, so how I actually been making the holes is a little screw with a fine point. Come on, focus. Focus, focus. There we go. It's got a little fine point. Kind of a bolt head at the end. But let me try to turn a light on here. See if we can get some extra lighting. There we go, a little better lighting. Let's see if we can see it now. Much better. See how it has a bolt head on the end. It's a fly head or a bolt head. And it's got a nice fine point screw head. And I found these at my local hardware or Walmart. You might be able to find them at your hardware store or something. They're not scale bolts. They're pretty small with nuts and everything. You know, this is a junkyard build, so you don't always find nice bolts. You know, sometimes you gotta go a little longer, some washers. You know, this is a cheap build. We're not really focusing on budget here. But I got two different kinds. I got two packages of these ones. I'm not going to say price because price is always different depending on where you live. And then I also got longer ones. The smaller ones have a quantity of 17 in the package, and the longer ones have a quantity of 11. And you can see I kind of got a ghetto frame holding system going on here. I was tired of it just falling all over the place. Now it's a little sturdier. It's the same piping that the frame was actually cut out of, just leftover pieces. Bolt this side up because I really didn't feel like cutting the end piece off right there. And then just took some foam and covered those, taped them up because they're too short, so it's two separate ends connected right here in the middle. It's good enough just to hold the frame. That's all it's being held for. If I really want to, I can unbolt it and cut it all down and use it for spare parts for my frame when the time comes need to. And I got a couple other screws that I might use on here every once in a while too. Trying to stay mainly with bolt head if I can. That way it's a little bit easier. These are the same ones I'm drilling the hole with. Focus. It's a little mini bag of them. I just threw them all in there. They actually were holding all this aluminum together. It was actually siding aluminum. You can see here. They're just being held on right here through this little bolt hole right there. So you know, I might use those in a couple of places. They're not really long, so I'm not worried about them really sticking out or anything. And also have these two, a little bullet head with some nuts. Just, you know, another spare bag I had laying around. It's kind of convenient. It says spare screw bag. But yeah, so got those. If not, you know, I got this big old container of random screws and bolts and nuts that I have. So I might find some extra stuff in there I might need. Uh, okay, so I'm gonna pull the frame rails apart, or the cross member apart really quick so I can show you the brackets, because I really don't have any others made up real quick. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that off camera. Alright guys, so we got the cross member all pulled apart. So here's the first piece that we're showing in a couple other videos. You do see 3 on this side. Kind of had a miscommunication. Like I said, I don't have a drill or anything, so doing this all by hand is a whole lot harder than some people like to give credit for. So here's the little brackets I was telling you about. Now everything is aluminum. We're trying to go a scale effect with it. So yes, it is softer. It does bend. That is the point. If I hit something too hard, I do want the frame and stuff to actually bend. Now why do I want to do that with so much work that I'm putting into this? Is I'm trying to go as scale as I can. Now, in real life, with a 1/1 size car, if you actually hit something going pretty fast or even get in a collision with one, your car is going to fold. So that is the scale point of this. We're going as scale as we can. And, you know, RC cars, you know, like the scale axial or trail finder, you can roll them, you can wreck them. You know, it's going to be very hard to bend the frames and everything in those, which is great and all if you're doing competition, or you know, that's just the way you like it. This is what I am doing. This is my build. That is the point of this hobby. Not everyone does everything the same. Me, this is what I do. So this is my scale effect. Now everything isn't done. We are going to file this side some more. You know, this was just rough. Cut it out, get the holes done, get it screwed up, get it mounted, get the width that I wanted on both sides. So what I'm thinking about is putting spacers on top and beneath the cross member to the bracket, which bolts on the bottom, to kind of even out some of that bolt a little bit. I did try to find smaller diameter. That's what I could find, and for the price I got for them, I'm not going to complain at all. I'm not about to go spend $15 on a freaking screw kit for a car or RC car when where I live I paid $3.15 plus tax for those 3 sets of screws. I will definitely take that. So let me go ahead and get the washers all in, all mocked up, and I'll show you guys the end result before we call this video quit. Alright guys, so it's been about 25 minutes now. I think I'm about to call this video a quits. So I tried the spacers. Spacers didn't work. Got a whole pile of them sitting out here. A magnetic tray with some bolts. You know, apparently that bolt isn't that magnetic, which is very weird. It's only one. Oh, and a bolt. I mean, it's a little cheap. I don't know where I got it, but it sure is handy for this hobby. You know, I had different size washers. I had, you know, a little bit bigger ones, a little bit smaller ones. It needed a whole bunch, so I just went ahead, bolted everything back up. It's a flathead on the top. It's a 5/16 nut at the bottom. So here I got my flathead, and I got a Husky screwdriver with a socket adapter with a 5/16 socket on it. It is either solid or it is a ratchet. So I just have it on solid because you don't really need too much torque. My file, because in the process of the washers I ended up bending it, and ended up bending my brackets. See how there's the bottom side. Can't see the brackets bolted on. Ended up bending the brackets, so I had to bolt everything back on and hammer everything back out, straighten everything back out. So I'm just gonna take a grinder. I'm gonna go to my buddy's house and just, I'm gonna leave a little bit on the end because it is gonna jaggy the end up, so I'm gonna have to file it and all that stuff. So I'll maybe only take. Let me try to find a point here. Here, we'll use a screwdriver. So we're only gonna try to take maybe about right here off. It's gonna leave that little bit, but I am gonna have to file it, so I want that little bit of extra so the nut actually grips. So we're gonna call this cross member pretty much done. I do have other ones over here. I still got to finish filing. It still has all the stuff on it. Oh, let's see. There's one. Okay, so oh no, this was a spare I was thinking about making. This is 1, 2, and 3 more. So there's 4 cross members. And let me go ahead and pull the camera over here. I have a couple extra materials to make, 1, maybe 2 more if I really need to. Maybe some frame spacers or something. So we're gonna call this video quits, and I'm gonna get to work. Maybe try to get a couple extra cross members done, some extra mounts. We'll see where it takes us. So stay tuned, and thank you guys for watching.